because I just drive home.
Yeah.
Whenever
I want you guys to see this image because this is what we're doing today, building up to cock pose.
His friends now are all saying the first year they wanted to.
So I just showed you guys the picture of a Hindu goddess, and it's a goddess that I had never heard of, but I knew if there was a cock pose, there had to be some relation to the myths. And so I wanted to look it up because, you know, we had Thanksgiving and we had turkey, maybe, I don't know, maybe you had something completely different. But, you know, last year I had something completely different, but this year I actually had the turkey. And I don't know, it was a nice Thanksgiving. And when I was reflecting back over the weekend to prepare the lesson plan, I was like, you know, there's a cock pose. And I know turkey is not necessarily the same thing as a cock, but turkeys and chickens generally are kind of put in the same category at times. So we're just gonna run with that. So just to give you a little background, in the Mahabharata, there's a story and there's a fight happening and there's a flag and the flag has a cock on the flag. And then I discovered through the research that, you know, in the Scottish heritage where each family has their own plaid or their own color scheme with the plaid, in India, certain families have flags. I think they have that in England too, but anyway, there's a certain family that has it with a cock. And like I said, I knew we had a cock pose. So I wanted to research a little bit more. I discovered in the Greek mythology, the cock goes back to Eros, not Eros, he's the god of love, Ares. Ares is the god of war. So think about cockfights, but that's the only one that looks at it in the negative. Because if you look at the Hindu symbology, if you look at the Chinese symbology, in those type of cultures, they look at it as being courageous. It represents being courageous. It's looked at as being loyal to in the Jewish tradition, it represents being loyal to your partner. And in the Chinese culture, it represents wisdom and knowledge. And in Hinduism, it's the conquering of ignorance or establishing wisdom. So we're going to be doing that pose today. It's a hard pose. And I realize I'm not even wearing the right pants for this, but that's okay. I'm going to try to demo it anyway when we get there. You may or may not be able to do it. That's okay if you can't. It shows up in the Ashtanga lineage. I don't teach it very often. In fact, I've probably only taught it a handful of times in my career of teaching. So we're going to lead up to it today. It is an arm balance. So it requires some upper body strength. It requires some core strength. It requires some hip flexor strength. And we'll be practicing with blocks. I set up a strap for everyone. If you cannot do lotus, lotus is required for the cock pose, but if you can't do lotus, it's okay. There's a way to get us bound, even in this pose that I'm sitting in, which is the easy pose. So don't feel like your ankles have to cross over your lap. We can do it like this as well, okay? So let's go ahead and start child's pose today. Now, when you come to child's pose, let's bring the thighs so they're somewhat parallel. And that way, when you're stilling over your lap, it's going to be helpful for digestion. Now, your arms can extend down the length of the mat, but if you decide to do it this way, I would suggest just landing the elbows, allowing the fingers to naturally curl in, and feeling the weight on your brow. And if your head doesn't comfortably come to the floor, you can always provide a block or bolster underneath. If you prefer the alternative with the arms wrapped around the body, just know you may want to pump in slightly through the belly to get the spine a little bit more rounded, and you'll be resting more towards the hairline instead of the third eye. So let's go ahead and begin just noticing what we're bringing to the mat with us today. What are you experiencing and feeling in your body as you check in? You may or may not have done a lot of yoga since our feasting last week. So please pay attention to your body, pay attention to your energy level, receive those messages clearly and honor what they're saying so that you're not pushing or striving or forcing anything to occur, with the exception of the breath. So go ahead and begin to invite a deeper connection into your breath. Sometimes just sending our attention to the breath, it will naturally start to expand. But if it doesn't, command it to expand. Enhancing your pranayama. That you're starting to connect more to your heart and less entertained by any thoughts. And set your intention to practice with the state of mindfulness as we explore these poses today. Anytime we come to the mat, anytime we come to the practice of yoga, we are trying to attempt to break through the veil. This veil is often called the veil of forgetfulness. Sometimes it's the veil of ignorance. And others describe it as the veil of illusion. Even this first song that's about to begin our practice is about releasing the ignorance and the illusion. And it's Om Namah Shivaya. Take one last deep breath here. Maybe even feeling a light stretch in your feet and ankles, which we'll need to prepare for our lotus. So on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and slide the hands back towards the knees, past the knees towards the feet. Lean into your hands that are now behind your back and lifting your torso up so that as you're leaning into your palms, you're allowing your knees and shins to lift away from the ground. And if this is too much for your knees or ankles, don't do it, right? Maybe just sitting up is enough, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and exhale, lower back to the knees and inhale, coming up to standing Vajrasana. Good, once you come to standing Vajrasana, you're gonna exhale, lower the right hand down and lean towards the front door. Creating Chandrasana from a kneeling state. Affirming strength and courage fill up my body cells. Courage representing the cock today. Inhale, let's bring it all the way up to the top, and exhale, lower the left hand down, curving to the opposite side. And just noticing maybe some areas or pockets that need to wake up. Breathing into that right lung. Plugging in this positive affirmation, strength and courage fills up my body cells. Inhale, come to the top, and as you exhale, bring that hand down, lace the hands together behind your back, roll the shoulders towards the spine, lengthen out through the forearms. This might be enough, okay? So if this is plenty, stay here, but if you want to contract your core, round the back, and lower very lightly to the top of the head, with the hands laced and the knuckles shooting towards the heavens and the weight more in your shins. Don't put excess weight in your head. Ever so light touch, like a feather. A version of Sasandasana, Kripalu style. On your next inhale, gently come all the way back up. And as you exhale, bring your hands back to prayer position. So either sit on your heels or a block, or sit back with your weight in your hands to stretch the fronts of the feet and the ankles again. This will be our last time doing this, you guys. I know this can be tough. All right, if you want to add in a little extra opening for the heart, you can roll the shoulders back, create a dynamic back bend, gazing up. Exhale, let's shift forward again. Slide or walk your hands out in front of you. Curl the toes under to reverse that action of the feet. And slowly tip back to downward facing dog. Pressing and rooting through your palms, stretching long through your arms and back. Deep belly breaths. So if we're trying to ascend the energy up beyond our seat, it requires a lift through the sits bones and maybe a lift through the ankles to create that extra height. But on the exhalation, let's pump the heels down towards the floor. Doesn't have to touch. Feel that work through your calves and heels, but notice how you shortened the height in your hips, maybe lost a little space in the vertebrae. Inhale, fly the heels up. Elongate your spine with your arms. Beautiful, exhale, pump the heels down. Good, when we're pumping the feet up and down this way, continue as you breathe. This is really good for draining the lymphatic tissues in the lower body. Let's do one more. All right, now let's go ahead and travel the feet forward slowly. Walking up one foot, one step at a time, and folding in half when you get there. So you're hinging from your hips. You're gravitating the heart lower towards the knees, and you're loosening the neck. It's okay to nod your head here. Distributing the weight evenly between the two sides, the two legs, the 2 feet, front and back. Meeting the balls of the feet in your heels. And then affirming here, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. On your next in-breath, let's root down to the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. When your arms come up to line across your ears, fingertips are reaching up towards the sky, and the feet are rooting and pressing down into the floor. So you got 2 lines of energy occurring. And then exhale, bring your hands together and draw them down to your heart, but you're still lifting through your core. Okay, so keep that Uddiyana Bandha today. Inhale, circle the arms out and up again. Exhale, let's swan dive forward and down to your Uttanasana. You're standing forward, fold and bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen out halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, gently lower back down in. On your next inhalation, we're going to step both feet back to plank. And I want you to pause here in plank. And I want you to really push the ground away from you with your hands. Feel the stacking, the engagement of your arms, your upper chest, your upper back, your core, your quads. Try to use core and quads to shift your shoulders past your wrists. If that's too challenging, use your feet. Exhale, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog, but we're not going to down dog. I'm going to go ahead and save you that. Roll down to your belly. Slide out with your hands. All right, inhale, we're coming to locust, lifting all limbs, head and chest up. Most importantly, breathe. I know we're on the diaphragm, and it can be a little challenging to breathe here. But do your best, because this is a core strengthener, just like it's a back strengthener. It's a glute strengthener, so keep firing back through the balls of the feet and spreading your toes. Good, exhale, lower your hands below your shoulders, bring the feet and brow down. Roll the shoulders back, and you can either inhale, come up through table, or you can curl the toes and come up plank. Yogi's choice, what are you feeling today? And then exhale, down dog. Now, when you're returning to downward facing dog, look at the width between the big toes and try to narrow that space. So there's just a few inches there. This is going to help you with our next phase because now we're lifting the left leg skyward. When you fly that left leg up, you're going to swing the foot through between the hands. If it doesn't come all the way, give yourself a helping hand. So the fall, keep going. Flat foot, knee over the ankle, turn and plant your back foot. Helicopter up, warrior 2. All right, so when you come to warrior 2, we've got that front leg attempting to make a 90-degree angle, more parallel to the floor. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you're dropping into the left hip, pulling up through your side waist, extending long through your arms. Now flip your hands open. We missed this by like a second, so you just see the dog too. Inhale, straighten the left leg, lift the arms up, and then exhale, lunge the knee, and gaze forward. All right, inhale, gaze towards the front door as you straighten up. Good, exhale, warrior two. Let's do two more. So we need the hips to open, right? And we're gonna attempt lotus. This time when you come back to warrior two, look down at your front thigh. Roll it open so you can see the big toe. Draw up through the navel. And affirm, I joyfully manifest the power of my own inner and outer strength. Exhale, helicopter the hands down, spin off your back heel. Good, left foot plank. Exhale, rock forward with feet or quads and core. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, slide through an up dog. Exhale, roll down. Arms out in front. All right, inhale, locust. Except this time we're swimming. Right arm, left leg up. Exhale, drop slightly. Inhale, right leg, left arm up. Exhale, drop slightly. Good, continue. Ending with the left arm. Good, come on down. Inhale, table or plank. Loop the shoulders back. Squeeze the elbows in when you rise. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. On your next inhale, make sure there's just a little space between the big toes before you ascend the left leg up again. Same side. Step that foot all the way through and up between the hands. Good, turn and plant your back foot. Helicopter up, warrior two, except we're not staying in this pose. We're gonna bring the elbow down to the knee. Look down at that knee, make sure it's pointed towards the center of your foot. And then turn your gaze towards the windows. Top arm is gonna reach over the ear. Spin that pinky down. Turn your thumb back towards the bathroom door or the hallway door. Good, glue down your back foot. Feel that kicking in of your right inner thigh. Try to keep your head above the left shoulder. Breathe. And affirm. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Still trying to open up these hips here. All right, as you exhale, look down, spin off the back foot, bring the hands down to frame it. All right, when you're ready, left foot plank. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, rise to up dog, nice flexibility of back. And then exhale, we're coming down to the belly. This time, a different variation of locust. Let your arms reach out like wings. When you're ready, inhale, lift. Stay with your breath. So notice with your arms spread out this way, how it opens up your chest more. And notice you might be able to lift more, even though you might drop slightly on your out breath. See what's possible on your in breath. Good, exhale, lower. Hands underneath the shoulders. All right, this time, curl the toes. Either pushing up to table or pressing up to plank. Make sure you roll those shoulders back. Use that upper body strength, we're gonna need it. And exhale, down dog. Refine the alignment here. And then refine your breath here. Time for a little replenishment. And look forward towards your hands. You can meditationally walk just like we did at the beginning, or you can bend your knees and float or hop the feet forward, straightening out the legs when you arrive, lifting out through your chest. And then exhale, spill down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. That was just one side, y'all. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway up. Out and down. Inhale to plank. Support yourself here. And then fine tune into your quads and core to shift. Or you can rock with your feet, right? Rocking with the feet is a little bit more noticeable. And then the core and the quads is a little bit more intricate work. Rising into your up dog. Rolling down to the belly. Locust here, Salabhasana. Inhale, lift off. Smile a little. Your body's creating a shape of smile, so you might as well bring it to your face. Have fun with it. Take a break if you need to. Exhale, lower. And get your shoulders prepared here. Get your core prepared here. Get your feet prepared here if you're going to lift a plank. And either take tabletop or plank. And then exhaling to invert. Look at your feet. That's important. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, swing the foot through. Turn and plant the back foot. Helicopter up, warrior two. All right, now you're looking the other direction. So keep that front knee aligned over the shin. Front thigh sinking to be parallel to the floor. Belly zipping up. And then turn your palms open. And let's flow. Inhale, straighten up. Look to the hallway door. And then exhale, turn to look over the right fingertips. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. I lost count. I think there's one more. Stay. Firm. Good reminder. Joyfully manifest the power of my own inner and outer strength. Exhale, helicopter down. Spin off the back heel. Right foot home. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale down to a prone position. Arms slide out. Not my favorite, but you know, we have to do those sometimes too. The swimming style of locust. So when you're ready, inhale, lift. Right arm, left leg. Exhale, drop. Inhale, left arm, right. Exhale, drop. So you're alternating the lifts. By the way, if you want a lot of core work, we got Pilates on the schedule now. All right, hands down, brow down, feet down. Roll the shoulders back from the face. Inhale, prepare to lift away from gravity. I know that's tough. Exhale, down dog. My feet always go wide. So if your feet go wide, slim that space because we're lifting one leg up. It'll help us with balance and better alignment. All right, when you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts. You're on that same side. Swing that foot through between the hands. Turn and plant your back foot. Bring it up to warrior two. This is just prepping us for side angle. So when you're ready, bring the forearm down. Make sure that hip is turned open. You know that it is. If the knee is pointed towards the center of the foot. When you've got that, turn your neck, gaze towards the hallway door. Take the left arm across your ear. Spin that pinky down, thumb up, rinse out that shoulder. Now use that right arm as leverage. I meant to remind you this in the previous side. Dial your heart up. It may be just a smidge, but it makes a difference. Breathe. Exhale, look down, hands down. Right foot down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down to the back. Arms out like a set of wings. And then I want you to consider what lifts your mood, what lifts your spirits. As you inhale, rise up. Learning how to soar upwards on wings of joy. Everyone try it. Inhale, see if you can lift your torso higher. Good, exhale down. Inhale to table or plank. Take your time with that. Get set up properly first. And then exhale down, down. Love this pose. It really is a great place to be in the mix of sun and sounds. And there's so many great benefits just from this one singular pose. On your next in-breath, look forward towards your hands, bend the knees. Now you can meditationally walk, or you can try to use core, strong arms, so that you barely hear the feet hit the floor. And then lower back. Inhale all the way up to the top. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, we still got some hip work to do to prepare. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold into self. In and prop up halfway. Out and drop down. Inhale, take plank. From plank, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to the floor. Arms slide out, Superman style. Now, if you need a break, just be here, because this feels good, doesn't it? You don't have to do everything I instruct. Inhale if you're ready, lift off. Savasana. I always like to remind people of that. Because sometimes we just get caught up in it, you know? But remember, it's yoga. Exhale, come down. Inhale, table or plank. And exhale, down dog. Now let's walk those feet closer together like we did earlier. Because now we're going to lift the left leg up again. But we're going to take the left foot now to the outside of the left hand. Now, when you come to the outside of that hand, you can stack two wrists or fist if you want to change it up. You can also bring blocks in to bring the floor to you if you want to rest lower. You can also, if you have the flexibility, lower completely to the floor. Now I'm keeping my back knee up today, but you are welcome to drop it down as well. Now I do want to stay active, so that means the left toes face the front of the room. And it also means that left knee is kind of hugging in towards the shoulder. There's a yin form of this, but we're doing the yang form today. One more breath. Inhale, restack your arms and reside on your palms. Left leg goes back plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up now. Exhale to the belly. All right, I think this is the swimming one. When you're ready, lift up. And start this. This sounds terrible, but every time I do this, I think of, You know, like if there's ever a water bug or something in the bathroom and you just kind of toss it in the toilet. It's a terrible image, right? It's not very yogic, but that's where my mind's going right now. All right, lower. Inhale, table or plank. Exhale, down dog. All right, we're going to go to lizard on this other side. So let's lift the right leg. Let's take that foot to the outside of the right hand. Lunging that knee. Make sure that foot doesn't turn out. That's the in forward. And then if you need to get off your wrist, I understand. Take this. If you want to drop to blocks or to forearms, you can. And if you feel the need to sink the back knee to the ground, you can. Hug the right knee in towards your shoulder. Keep your breath strong. All right, reset. Right foot back. Exhale, tip forward. Exhale, lowered, hug. Inhale, up, dog. Out and down to the floor. Arms reach out, winged form, locust. This is my favorite version. Inhale, lift up. You don't have your favorite. If you're breathing properly on the diaphragm, there is movement. So don't be as still as a statue. That means you're holding your breath. All right, exhale, descend. Inhale, plank or table. Exhale, downward facing dog. I feel like we're building some heat. Yeah. This is a cooling pose though, so cool down a little bit here. Notice your heart rate, breath rate. If it's sped up, great opportunity to slow it down. Inhale, feet land at the top of the mat. Straighten up, open your heart, and then gently drop in. Inhale up to the top, and then exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, arms back up. I feel like we need pigeon. Exhale, fold. We need a good cool down, because we're going to get into some deeper stuff in a minute. All right, inhale, prop up halfway. Exhale, drop it. Let's just skip the vinyasa. Let's take down dog. Unless you really want it. You want the vinyasa? All right, let's skip. I'm with you. All right, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we're going to bring that shin and knee behind the hands. Slide your right leg back. Okay, let's just be here a second because this may not work out for you. And if you're already feeling like, don't like this pose or it's not feeling good on the side, you're just going to turn, flip to your back, and do this number, okay? Make sure your knee is slightly angled to the left. Your hip bones seem level and even to the front. You're on the top of that right thigh and knee. Now let's drop it. So Swami Ken used to come to the studio once a year, and we'd sit and meditate for an hour before he even talked to us. A lot of people would ask him, you know, my body's in pain when I'm trying to meditate, so what do I do about that? He said, meditate on the pain. So if that leaf blower comes by, you're going to meditate on the leaf blower, okay? So instead of looking at it as a distraction, it's part of the present moment. Just allow it to be. Enjoy, maybe even exaggerate your exhalations here. It will help to provide a softening to the muscles. Inhale, slowly start to rise. I know we could say that forever. So hands plant, back toes curl. Now, if you want a vinyasa, take it. Otherwise, meet down dog. We'll elevate the right leg next. And bring that chin to the front of the mat behind the hands. And slide the left foot farther back. Once you have your hip points even, you're checking in, don't feel like you have to take an alternative. You can go ahead and work your way down to Sphinx arms. And that's your next check-in point. You need to stay higher, stay higher. And if you feel like for Sphinx arms, you can go lower, feel free to do so. Putting the emphasis on the out breath. That will help any tension to dissolve away. At least momentarily. Now let's slowly start to lift. And then when we start to lift, right, the palms, curl the back toes, take it to downward facing dog unless you want that vinyasa. You want that extra vinyasa, feel free to take it. All right, from here, look forward towards your hands. Instead of hopping the feet through like we did before, bend your knees, get some buoyancy in your hips, and you're gonna hop forward to squat. So when the feet come through, we're gonna do our first turkey pose. This is the kids yoga version of turkey. Look at the shape of us. It's hilarious. It's like, yeah, it kind of does look like a turkey. But look at the mudra we're doing too. It's for wisdom that conquers and overrides ignorance. All right, let's bring the hands down, our seat down, and take our legs out. All right, slide your legs long. And then we're gonna bring the left foot over. Okay, when you bring the left foot over, instead of bringing it in towards your body, keep it away from your body so that shin looks like a straight line, parallel to your chest, heel and knee kind of in line with your hips somewhat. Okay, so now slide your right knee in. All right, take your left hand under that heel, pick it up. See if it's possible to stack on the left knee. If it's difficult to stack or if it hurts to stack, or if you're all kinds of like this and you can't straighten your back, then you're gonna take that foot over in front so that you can straighten up your back. And so that you have a little bit more settledness into your hips. Either way, you see a triangle in that mid space of your lap. And that way you know you're good. Now it's okay if there's a gap, because we're gonna take the hands down beside us and we're gonna push down through the finger pads and at the same time, accelerate up through the heart and the top of the head. And that may close a little bit of that gap because we're getting more rotation from the hip. Now, if you want to stay here, maybe this is like, ha, 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 this is good. Here, all right? If you feel like, I want to feel more, like walk forward. And then if you're here and you're like, okay, this is starting to really feel good, but I think I need more, then walk your hands out more. And then if you feel like, okay, I think I can flex my weight and get heavier in my hips and get a deeper stretch for opening, then go there. But just because you can doesn't always mean you should. Okay, because if I did that all the time every day, I would be hypermobile. I don't want to be hypermobile. Hypermobile is not good for your body. So if you're leaning on that tendency, then it's a good idea to back up a little bit. This is double pigeon. Let's take one last breath. And then we'll walk it back in. All right. And then separate your legs again. And this time the right foot's going to cross over. And then again, line it up so that shin looks like a straight edge line. Here, look to your chest. Pretty much knee and heel in line with your hips. Slide your left foot closer. Grab it with one of your hands. Carry it safely and cautiously just to see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. Send it over. Spare yourself the pain. You don't want pain. All right, press down through the hands wherever the feet are located and rise up through the spine. This may be just perfect, or you may want extra. If it feels good to receive extra and there's an opportunity for more that feels good, then you can take it. Last breath. We're not staying in this terribly long today, since we already did pigeon and some other hip openings. All right, slowly begin to back it up. All right, let's stretch out through the legs again. And we'll slide the left foot back over to the mat. And then we'll slide the right foot in. You're going to catch that heel and pick it up with your right hand. You're going to sickle the foot so it's turning to kind of face you a little bit. That left hand is going to reach way out in front to take the top of the foot. This is really important because anatomically we need the hip and the knee to open for lotus. So with your hands in this right place, bring that foot very carefully. See if it's possible. Don't force it. Don't force it. If it can land at that hip crease, ideally, the heel is in line with the belly button and that foot slightly turned up towards your heart. All right, if that feels okay to be here, stay here. If it hurts, drop it to the floor, okay? Either way. Let's reach the arms overhead. Exhale, pour down. Flex that ankle, lift up through those toes. Look out beyond the foot. And then inhale, draw up. Exhale, spray the arms down. Slide your right foot out, left foot out. Right leg in. Left knee bends. Take your left hand to find the heel and pick it up. And then turn that foot so it's kind of sickling facing you a little bit. Right arm's gonna reach out in front to grab the front side of it. To cautiously bring it to the hip crease, lining the heel with the navel. Seeing if that's a possibility on this side. One side may be more doable than the other side. Okay, inhale the arms up, flex that ankle and fold. I just want y'all to know, time goes by faster in Franklin than in Mount Juliet. Because I did way more than this yesterday. And I don't know where the time is. But we got to get to our cock pose. But it does take a big build up for it. All right, inhale up. Exhale, spray the arms down. Let's just slide the left foot off to the side. All right. So we're gonna try something now. You can't do lotus, it's okay. Try lotus with your right foot on top of the left thigh. Slide the left foot in, but not all the way. So that when you lean your trunk forward, that right knee has the potential to lower. It may not lower as far as mine does. Just test it out. But that usually will give us the opportunity to pick up the other foot and to slide it in place. So again, don't force it. This is not something I want anybody to force because this is a big pose, especially for Westerners. If you can't do this, great, come out. No problem. Do Sukhasana, be easy, okay? And if you can just do one, right? Just your left foot works or your right foot works, just do one. Now we're gonna go into Tolasana, which requires some arm strength. So I'm gonna do it this version, okay? Good, you've got it, Lotus, so you can do it. Jen can show you from Lotus. I'm gonna show you from easy style because I want you to know that you can still do it like this. Your hands are gonna be on top of the blocks and they're kind of alongside your hips. When you push down through your palms and straighten your arms, your buttocks will lift off the floor, okay? But we need to contract the core, hips, and ankles to lift the whole body up. Okay, so it's possible not to be in lotus, okay? And you're just trying your hardest, you're just trying your best. And that was awesome. I think it's just your feet need to flex.
Yeah.
You had the core, you had the hips, it's just the feet. Yeah, you got everything else. Arm strength, core strength, hip strength, and then try to lift the feet. Awesome. Nice. Good. No, that was good. It's okay if you don't completely come off the ground. You did everything else. That's a big piece of the pie right there. Okay, so time. I don't like time. Okay, can I use this really quick to show them? If you want to bind in lotus, there's a whole series we could do. Time for it, unfortunately. But say you were just in half lotus. The strap, 10 foot's better. Once it's bound, you take one end of the loop and I would go under the foot, under the thigh, if the foot's there. If it's not there, don't worry about it. Then you take it and twist it so it looks like a figure 8 or sign of infinity. And then this loop will wrap around the other leg or foot, okay? And then you pull the loose tab of the strap to get all bound up. All right. We're not going to do this whole sequence, but what's kind of fun to do is to lean into your sits bones and try to lift your knees, Fold them in and lift your head in your chest. So it's a balancing pose. Kind of like blossoming lotus, you're just balancing on your sits bones. All right, then bring the knees down, and you can use your hands to lift the buttocks off the floor. Okay, this is gonna look awkward, all right, because it is awkward. But it may look like it hurts, it doesn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt. If it hurts, come out. All right, so when you're ready, you're gonna see how I'm rocking my tailbone and hips forward, forward, forward. And I continue to bring them forward till I can lower down to the belly and chest, and the arms can reach out in front. It's an unusual shape. But it feels kind of good once you're in it, doesn't it? All right, now, if you slide your hands under your shoulders, we've been working on upper body strength, you have to push up. Now, what's kind of fun about this, if you were trying to build upper body strength and you were sick of chaturangas. And then if you sit back, you might can fold and get a nice hip stretch here. And then slide your hands in. If you need to come out of the bind, that's okay. But we're ready for cock pose now. Now, if Cindy was here, Cindy would tell you that she's been in Ashtanga workshops when they were getting ready to get in this pose for people who had difficulty doing this. They would spray their arms and they would be in shorts, right? So they could slide their arms through. Obviously, I'm not wearing shorts. I don't wear shorts. But your arms, and luckily my wrists are small, right? I know not everybody has small wrists, but basically you try to get your arms and hands through the lotus, okay? Now watch my hands. When I bring them down, I'm not flattening the palms. I'm more or less kind of cupping them a little bit, but I lean forward to find the fulcrum of balance. And then I lift up. So I'm just balancing on my hands. That's the cock pose. I can't stay in it very long. That's it. So there's your Thanksgiving class, since I wasn't here. Yeah, and then that's it. That's it, Jen. You lean forward, that's it. And then what I do is I lift my head a little bit, which will lift the knees a little bit more. That was awesome. Okay. Your choice for your final inversion is the fish like this, or those of you that just love lotus. Now, the way that I do lotus fish is different than the other version I showed you. So if you do lotus, what I do, and you may have to do it differently, but I find if I kind of grab my outer thighs, sink the thighs, lift the chest, and the head comes back like this. So fish with straight legs, or fish with legs. But remember, the heart's lifting, 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 lifting. That's it, Brenda. Lift a little bit extra. There you go. Boom. Beautiful. All right, when you're ready to exit, gently come out. Lifting your head, lowering to your upper back. Removing your hands from underneath you and hug your knees in. Give yourself a nice warm embrace for doing this work, for showing up today and doing something for your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. If you want, I really love spinal twist before Shavasana. You don't have to do it, but if you want to send the knees over to one side, I would take at least 3 rounds of breath before swishing the knees together. Taking at least 3 breaths. And then if you want to set up for your Shavasana, we did a lot of back bends today. So if you're not normally doing a lot of back bends, you might enjoy a bolster under your knees, perhaps. Just to flatten out the back, to give it a counter. But we were doing counters along the way. We already did a lot of hip openers, but maybe you feel like you need to work your sacral chakra. And if that's the case, you may want reclined butterfly. So we led up to a fancy pose today, one that we don't often do. But as a reminder, the cock will represent wisdom. So what I'd like you to do for Shavasana today is to set your drishti in and up towards your mind's eye, the all-seeing eye, the midpoint of your brow. And allow that to be your point of concentration. So that you're stimulating and activating third eye, the pineal gland. That allows us to discern from a place of knowledge and wisdom. And if or when any thoughts come to mind, just let them go one by one, returning back to this fixated point of focus. Begin to deepen the flow of our breath. Once you deepen the flow of your breath, just roll your head from shoulder to shoulder. Turn it to stillness. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead. If you're flat on your back, be at liberty to hug the knees in. Rolling to one side. Eventually coming to take a seat. Sitting upright, the eyes turned down. The awareness still tuned in and up. Bringing the hands together for prayer. One light within me honors and respectfully bows to the beautiful light that each of you bring to the practice, that each of you take with you into the community, and that each of you share in life. Namaste. Again, showing up. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Any special things coming up?
Your
Okay.
workshop is our next workshop.
Okay, 16th, Friday night, the 16th of December, I'm gonna be doing my annual restorative yoga, with candlelight, therapy. I use frankincense, I use myrrh, I use thieves oil, I use peppermint oil to bring in kind of the Christmas season along with it. I know that's getting like a week before Christmas, but if you're around and you need that reprieve, that's gonna be here. Thanks.
I'm sorry.